assessment number 2, assignment number 2.
Hi, Ria.
Oh, hi, Angela. How's it going?
This is not working. I tried to convince him. No, there's no result. There's no positive result. It gives him. He's negative. So, no.
So this is not really working between
Yeah.
the two of you now.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I mean, what are you trying to say? I mean, is he more physically abusive now? Has
More
it
physically,
escalated?
more in words and trying to hurt us, even the kids.
Mhm.
So, no, enough.
Okay, so you've had enough.
Yes.
Are you? I mean, this time, are you really sure about your decision?
Yes.
Regardless if the kids won't have a father figure in
Yes,
their
I
life.
need to protect my kids.
Well, that's
Yeah.
a good thing now that you've realized that. Okay, so what is particularly a trigger point? Like, what are the arguments that you have that you can tell that he would have an outbursts?
Trigger points, just like, for example, if I would ask him when is he going to look for a job, and then instead of being positive about that question, he was like negative and then started to yell at me, raise his voice, and if the kids are crying, just a simple crying because of just upset, but he was like, no, cursing kids and slap them, and I was like, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's too much now that you
Yeah,
can
it's
handle.
too much.
Okay. So is he drinking as well?
Yeah,
He's drinking
he's
a lot
alcoholic.
now.
Yeah,
Oh, right. Okay.
too much
So-
alcohol.
And of course the curses are still
Yeah.
there. Okay, that's terrible. So now that you're really sure that you wanted to leave him, do you have any plans that you have set on your mind of how to do it?
What do you mean about that?
Well, there are certain of course at first you have to secure your children's safety first and foremost, because it's the kids that we have to think about first.
But my family migrated in Russia, so I don't know.
How to do it or how to
Yes.
start with it.
Yeah.
Okay, but I have here a general idea of what you can do and what you can prepare. This is just for like the worst case scenario. Okay, so do you have to obtain like your safe contact information, so you have to obtain a new phone number. That is when
A
you're
new phone number.
a new phone number. That is when you're trying to like flee in a different community or in a different state. That is if you don't want him to track you at all.
Okay.
And then
That's a bit difficult.
yeah, it will be a very difficult situation at
Yeah.
first, but because we are trying to think of this, you can do this if worst comes to worst. So you have all the important papers. You have to gather all the important papers of your kids, like the birth certificate, the medical certificate, if they have particular medicines that they're taking, the prescriptions for that. That is really important. And if possible, if you can open a separate bank account, that is most.
I have to do it secretly.
Yeah, but you have to do that
Yeah.
secretly if you can like get out of the house and do it alone. And if you have a contact person that that I can contact, or someone in the government can contact, just in case we have to trace you. You have someone to you have someone that you can trust, that we can contact as well. That is very important. And then because you have to prepare just in case you wanted to leave quickly or immediately, like in a certain situation where just normal beating is not enough, and it will eventually be like, no, I'm not hoping that this would happen, but what if it escalates to like really a serious one, that you have to leave immediately. So you have to prepare the clothes for your children, and you have to keep that in a place where he wouldn't think that it was there.
Okay.
So it's a place where you already have like a day pack You pack the stuff that are essentials for your kids. Sometimes toys, you can include that as
Yeah.
well. Clothes for extra clothes for them.
Yeah.
Foods perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
The keys that you need for your car, for stuff that you need it too. And then you also have to teach your kids like a drill.
A
That
drill
if
for the kids.
yeah, that if that happens, for them not to panic.
I hope so that they
Yeah.
could have or absorb the drill. They're under 5 years old.
I know it's terrible and it's
Mhm.
hard, but certain situations needs drastic actions as well,
Mm-hmm.
because you might not know what will happen, and what if you only have the kids to help you,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're down. I mean, if he's hurt you, and then
Okay.
it's all the kids that you can depend on to get help. So you have to have that drill as well at the same time. And then if you're really sure that you're gonna leave him, have you thought of a protection order?
Yeah, I've heard about it, the
Mhm.
protection order.
Well, it is something about a judge will issue an order that
Okay.
he can't get close
Mhm.
to you within a certain distance.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be
What should I
pretty
do?
good. Pretty good. Um, it would be best to apply for that
Mm-hmm.
when you're already out of his grasp,
Okay.
because sometimes that applies when the two of you are already
Is it
separated. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was thinking, if you're gonna leave him, what do you have in mind? Are you gonna stay in a women's shelter, or are you gonna are you gonna apply for a housing assistance?
I think it's better to have a housing assistance,
Mm-hmm.
but it's my first time to hear about women's protection.
Women's protection.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. We have certain agencies that help women that are abused.
Yeah. Okay.
So they are usually took under their wing women that such as you are,
Yeah.
and then they would provide for a temporary what do you call this one, a shelter.
Mm-hmm. So
Until-
housing assistance is a different one.
Yeah, housing
Okay.
assistance is a different one. That is for
Okay.
you to get your own house
Oh, okay.
at a different
I see.
state or community of your choosing.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you can like really create a distance from your husband.
Okay.
Well, the women's shelter, this would be nice if you can arrange it before or prior to the time that you will leave. So
Mhm.
when you are already leaving, you can go there directly, but you have already booked that
Mhm.
certain place.
Mm.
So that would be very helpful as well. And then if because we have already discussed what are the particular steps that you can do,
Mhm.
have you what do you call this one, have you already thought about how big you have to prepare for this?
No, I was listening to you. I was like, oh, it's a difficult steps to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a big one. I thought it's just easy to do, and upon hearing it, it was like, how am I going to do that one
Mhm.
without him knowing
Mm-hmm.
what am I going to do?
Actually,
Mm.
if I know you have neighbors, right?
Yeah.
And you have to, of course, you have to, if you're already friends with them, that is a very good one.
Mm-hmm.
You can always like make codes,
Codes. Yeah.
like for instance, the if the neighbor you can tell your neighbor that if you haven't called them for like a day already, that means something is terribly wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So they can call the police for help.
Yeah.
You can do that. Or if you wanted the kids to help, for the kids to
Mm.
ask for help instead, you can aside from the drill, you can also have a code with the kids that if you're gonna say
Yeah, it's a nice idea.
yeah, if you would say like pick up, that means the
Mhm.
kid have to run to the neighbor's house, and then that's
Mhm.
it. That's I mean, it's just an idea,
Okay.
because there are certain instances that what if you can't leave immediately because
Yes,
you're
I'm thinking
already
about it as well.
hurt,
Because
you know.
because if he will know about the
Mm.
the thing, probably will be locked up.
Yes, he will be. I know he will be very pissed about it.
Yeah.
But you have to cover all at least the basics. So I have given you already what are the steps, at least the steps that needs to be done. These are like the general idea of it.
Mm-hmm.
But basically it covers about um, like what you need to be prepared for the kids,
Mm-hmm.
where you can go,
Mm-hmm.
and even those women's center, the women's help center and the housing community. There are, other than that, there are also referrals that I can give you where they can at least help you get a job,
Oh, that's a nice one.
and then help you get a training. So at least, after that training you can gain skills that of course will employ you.
That's a relief.
Yeah, and then other than that, there are also helplines that will help you watch the kids. We have that centers here that you can
Mhm.
just leave the kids while you work,
Mm-hmm.
but you can always tell them it needs to be confidential considering your situation and you
Yeah,
don't want
okay.
your husband around.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that's a lot of ground that needs to be covered at the moment, but that's why I was asking you if you are really sure about this.
Yes, I'm 100% sure.
Yes. Well, anyway, I have it written down.
Okay.
I have a copy of it as well. So when you get home,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to browse everything that I've prepared for you as much as possible. Make sure that he won't find it.
Yes.
And then-
I will.
When the right time comes, I know it's not the right time, but when it happens, at least you're
Okay.
already prepared.
Mm, yep.
So you
Yeah.
have the clothes you needed.
Mm-hmm.
You have all the important documents
Mm-hmm.
that you can take for yourself and for the kids.
Yeah.
What else? Money, of course, you need that
Yeah, I
one,
need money.
and you need someone that can support you, your contact person, your best friend.
Yeah,
your
my
friends
best
that-
friend.
Yep,
Yeah,
that
I
you
can
can-
contact him.
And then, hopefully, when you have your new phone number, you have your new address. I was hoping.
I'll update you.
Yep, you
Yeah,
can
okay.
contact me.
Yes.
You can email me as well, so I can connect you to those referrals that I've tried looking at,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can, the two of us can work out what we wanted to do in the future.
Okay.
It's too much. I
Too
know
much.
it's too
Yeah.
much.
Too
Yeah,
much to think about.
it's too much. But if you're gonna do about it for the kids' welfare and your welfare as well,
Mm-hmm.
it's a brand new beginning for you, and it would be very helpful if you're gonna be brave and you'd face it as a very mature person.
Yeah, I think this is the nice way to to also to save my children from this situation,
Mm-hmm.
and then to save myself as well from this mental breakdown, and my family. I don't know what to do. Yeah, thank you very much.
Anyway,
Yeah,
thank you so much, Angela. And then I hope this will work out well for you. Just
yeah,
contact
I hope
me
so. I hope
anytime.
so. Yeah,
Okay.
anytime. I'll update
Okay.
you. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Have a good day.
Have a good day too.